Stop chasing bonuses that don't last. Bonga Forever Ever from Uganda Telecom never expires and gives you up to 100% guaranteed bonus every time you load airtime. Simply dial *100#, select Bonga Forever Ever, and talk and text all networks with the bonus that lasts. Get Bonga Forever Ever from Uganda Telecom.
Uganda Telecom, Uganda's most affordable telecom service.
Hey, let's do it. You are watching WBS TV.
Days into the month of March, the year 2015. Good evening and welcome to WBS Prime News Live. But first, let's take a look at the headlines.
These people have been in prison for 2 years, and there is no evidence up to now.
Sejuso wants his 8 days charged or released as relatives want to meet President Museveni.
Attempt to insult. Some of the key actors are seeking relevance. They're seeking opportunities.
Allegedly barred UPC members of parliament dismissed the reports with contempt.
Every one of us would love to use paperbacks.
Chairman of the Uganda Manufacturers Association raises questions on the Kavera ban. And the Uganda athletics team off to China for World Cross Country Championship. Welcome back, and remember that you can watch this bulletin wherever you are on live stream. Simply go into our website at www.wbs.ug and clicking on the live stream button, you will be able to view it from wherever you are. Now the news in detail. I'm Mildred Tuhaisi. Relatives of the 6 people detained and produced in the court-martial several times without charge want them released or else be charged. The 6, according to the prosecution, face charges of trickery, aiding and abetting to overthrow the government of Uganda. A group of over 30 relatives gathered at Speak Hotel after the court-martial sitting in Makindye and demanded to meet the president.
For the 3rd time, the suspects were denied bail by the court-martial, and yet they have still not been charged. General David Sejusa described this as illegal detention that government has continuously used to instill fear in Ugandans who demand for their freedom.
These people have been in prison for 2 years, and there is no evidence up to now. So the logical thing to do would be, if there is evidence, convict them. If there is no evidence, let them be discharged.
General Sejusa, who joined relatives after the court-martial on Wednesday, demanded the government to explain why they are still detained, yet he remains free.
Why they are being tried in the military courts, I don't even understand. They are civilians. Civilians. Only 2 are soldiers, and they are very junior, corporals. Surely they must have been. If there was a plan to carry out a coup, there should have been other people. Where are they? Where are they? So it doesn't add up. But I told them that I think I know the genesis of the problem.
The relatives, flanked by the lawyer, demand to meet the president over the suffering of the families of the detained after the court-martial denied them bail.
Let the president dwell on the military court-martial to release our boys and grant them bail, like any other person. Even the murderers are granted bail.
Mbwenu kushika abana betu tukashaba government mbwe tusasire bahuriza hero amateka gabikirize bahuriza hero kikarema aho abantu kibaretero kwetombuita no kushasha.
The six, Grace Nasasira, Geoffrey Karhanga, Frank Nisima, James Naebale, Moses Nwagaba and Abel Tunamasko were arrested in May 2013 following the fleeing of General David Sejusa, who has since returned and faced no arrest.
According to the relatives, they are saying that they provided all respectable people substantial sureties twice, and they are rejected. So they are asking, what is so special and how unique is this case of their children, if even one being accused of murder can qualify for bail?
According to the UPDF Act, trickery, aiding and abetting to overthrow the government of Uganda are serious accounts that lead to a life sentence. Aran Stabaruka, WBS Television.
Now, 2 members of parliament from Lango sub-region who were said to have been expelled from the Uganda People's Congress Party and barred from contesting on the party's ticket in the next polls dismissed the statements as inconsequential and an attempt by failures to gain political capital. Lira Municipality Member of Parliament Jimmy Akena and Kole legislator Fred Abilebil deny claims that they are moles of the president in the party, with Akena insisting he cannot betray the ideals that his father, the late Dr. Milton Obote, stood for.
The media has been awash with reports that the leadership of the Uganda People's Congress in the Lango sub-region decided to bar MPs Jimmy Akena, Fred Abilebil and Betty Amonging from contesting on the party's ticket in the next polls for being moles in the party planted to destroy the Uganda People's Congress. In a sharp response to the statements, the MPs were quick to dismiss the accusations against them as unfounded and say the assertions that they are agents of the ruling party should be dismissed with contempt.
This is an attempt to insult. Some of the key actors are seeking relevance. They're seeking opportunities. But looking at their track record, example, Dan Okello lost the primaries last time, stood as an independent, decampaigned the party, fought the party. Issa Oto lost the primaries. In fact, twice he has lost the primaries, and he has never respected the institution of the party in order to forward his political career.
The problem was just with the chairman of the district, who himself has failed as a chairman. Because if you fail to listen to your members, then the best thing to do is for you to retire. So, for him, the best to do now is for him to keep quiet.
The closeness of the MPs to the head of state has raised eyebrows in the opposition corridors, with many questioning their loyalty.
I stood by my father, I believe in what he stood for, and there's no way I can betray the values and the intentions which he had. So it's a non-starter.
Much as these people who are talking, some of them went to State House and met the president, and they got some money there. Most of these people whom you think they are talking that they don't like President, they are the ones going to State House to meet the president. Okello Dan himself, the purported chairman of Lira, the self-imposed chairperson of the district of Lira, he went to State House. He went to beg for money.
The counter-accusations are expected to intensify in the run-up to the elections of new party leaders following what many have called forced departure of party leader Ambassador Olaro Tunu. The party's backyard of Lango has seen significant inroads by the ruling National Resistance Movement Party as the party continues to go into disarray. Sabit Joseph, Davis Television.
Now, legislators on the Budget Committee this morning refused to listen to justifications for the 39 billion shilling supplementary request by Kampala Capital City Authority after the team showed up without the line minister. The team, led by the Deputy Executive Director, Judith Tumusime, was ordered to only take notes and return to the committee in company of the political leadership of the ministry that supervises them after Tororo County Member of Parliament Geoffrey Ekanya objected to the proceedings, insisting they breached parliamentary rules of procedure.
With discussions ongoing about whether or not the Parliament should continue heeding to supplementary calls, the Budget Committee refused to allow Kampala Capital City Authority Deputy Executive Director Judith Tumusime to proceed with justifications for 39 billion shilling supplementary request to be used in the purchase of Safi Market. The MPs ordered the team to only listen and take notes after failing to bring along Kampala Minister Frank Tumwebaze and the political leadership of the authority.
We don't meet technical people without a minister, because that is an insult to us. We are politicians, my friend. To become an MP is not easy.
I don't speak to civil servants.
We have so many ministers. They cannot come with a team like this when it is well known that the rules of Parliament require that. So now we go and throw these people back and say, you go. Of course, business comes to a standstill.
Earlier, the MPs had queried whether the request justifies a supplementary procedure, since the issue was a forcing expenditure that could have been captured in the normal budgeting process.
Actually, this justification, Honorable Chair, gives me the belief that this was a foreseeable expenditure.
The supplementary aspect disturbs, because from what we understand, supplementary is it is a simple, a nice word of covering up indiscipline.
KCCA decides to give itself a lease, but when it can actually give others freehold. By law, it was available because this was a private milo.
The team is expected to return to the committee with the line minister to respond to the different queries raised by the legislators. Sabit Joseph, Davis Television, Parliament.
Kabalagala police has started investigations into the death of a second-year South Sudanese student in a hostel. 22-year-old Richard Primo was a student of logistics at Kampala University and has been complaining of illness before mysteriously dying Wednesday morning.
The deceased has been a resident of a hostel at Muyenga Diplomat Zone next to Maristopies. His roommates who refused to speak on camera say he was found lying dead in his hostel. They report he had been drinking alcohol while sick. They had called for an ambulance, but doctors pronounced him dead and that they needed to inform police. Kabalagala police rushed to the scene where they blocked journalists from recording the events, locking them outside the gate. District Police Commander Kabalagala Francis Jemisto says police is still doing further investigations on the cause of his death, although they suspect overdrinking.
They called us to around 10, 9, so it was in the morning. But he has been overdrinking according to the neighbors. The way I think you saw the mood, and even you saw the recoveries of what I things, a sick person but with a lot of liquors in the house. So we may not rule out that, but postmortem will give us the exact cause of death.
Police later took the body to Mulago Hospital for a postmortem. Nachanzi Haspa, WBS TV.
And with that, we'll take a very short break. More stories are still lined up, but first let's have a look at our top stories. Sajisa wants his ADs charged or released as relatives want to meet the president. allegedly barred UPC members of parliament, dismissed the reports with contempt. Chairman of the Uganda Manufacturers Association raises questions on the Kavera ban.
Load the airtime knowing it's easy. You get it all back with Chizzy. All the airtime you spend is at the end of the month, Chicho Chizzy.
1K, 2K, 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K. Airtime you spend is refunded. Talk on top with Chizzy.
Chicho.
Uganda Telecom's got something.
Get back your airtime with Chizzy from Uganda Telecom. Dial star 100 hash, select Chizzy and get the total amount you spend in a month refunded. This refund can be used for calls and SMSs to all networks for the next 30 days from Uganda's most affordable telecom service, Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
Introducing Yuga Chick Super. Chicken pieces that are individually quick frozen and easier to prepare. Yuga Chick Super has been packaged conveniently for your family. Buy Yuga Chick Super from a supermarket near you.
Welcome back, and now taking a look at more news. Brigadier General Henry Tumukunde has vowed to take legal action against land dealers Jamai property consultants whom he says wants to defraud him of his land. It comes at a time when Tumukunde is battling over 98 occupants whom he says also settled on his land in Mityana illegally.
About a month ago, we brought you a story of a land row between land dealer Jomai Property Consultants and the embattled Brigadier Henry Tumukunde over the land located in Mityana. This called for the intervention of the Police Land Protection Unit, which halted the evacuation of the bona fide occupants that were being dismissed from the land. The commandant of the Kampala Metropolitan Police, Haruna Isabire, was seen at the site, but area leaders say the matter was not handled rightly.
Exactly, awali blocked. Nebalagibwa okuvaamu okugenda kakati awe watandikira entabwiri.
According to Tumukunde, the land dealer he gave the property to sell is to blame. He says Jomai on several occasions breached the contract that had earlier been agreed upon by the two parties. Tumukunde says he will continue to chase away occupants from his land and threaten to take up the land dealer to courts. The 600-acre land located in Mityana had earlier on been given to Jomai to sell to interested occupants, but they allegedly took the money for their own use.
And Jomai besieged me. Or a speech young police. I'm going to take him to court. To say one of Matasa. He's a politician. Matasa. Population age of Taino in a Muna protein age. By the way, peculiarly locals can't afford those plots. They can't. They are bought by people like you and others from
The Jomai official we were referred to did not speak to us as he claimed to be out of the country. The matter, which has for long been handled by the Police Protection Land Unit, remains controversial. However, police maintains that the occupants should remain on the land as the duo settles their differences.
Well, in business, banning polythene bags, commonly known as Bovera, is likely to leave many Ugandans with no alternative, given the fact that there is no paper bag manufacturing organization, and paper bags cannot be used to carry foodstuff because of the fluid in it. Executive Director of the Uganda Manufacturers Association, Sebagala Chigozi, says this will also leave the manufacturers with equipment they cannot use and many unemployed, not to mention government being sued to compensate these companies. According to Sebagala, the problem is the lack of discipline in the disposal which should be addressed with the companies mandated with recycling.
Look at this. This is a Kavera that can be used 10 times if one is serious, like I'm doing. Me, I don't throw them away. I bought a thing there and I fold it properly, and I have many of them here. And I use them time and again.
Gone are the days when one had to carry their meat or food in banana leaves, and paper bags cannot be depended on because there is no company manufacturing paper bags. Polythene bags have come in handy because they can carry fluids and can also be recycled, many times depending on the way they are stored. Sebagala Chigozi is the Executive Director, Uganda Manufacturers Association, who rejects the idea of banning Bovera, saying it has not been well researched or even thought out.
Yes, every one of us would love to use paper bags. Where are they? Have you seen a factory here of paper bags in Uganda? Those who make paper bags are these cottage people who do 20 pieces, 30 pieces a day. What is 30 pieces a day to the whole country? It's nothing.
Sabagala adds that unless government is ready to compensate these polythene bag manufacturers, a lot of money could be lost and a lot of people left unemployed.
Now that government allowed in manufacturers of Bovera to establish themselves here, and you wake up in the morning and say, Kavera ban, carrier bags ban. What about those factories which have been established and have been licensed by Uganda Investment Authority? What are they going to do with the equipment just all of a sudden? Is government ready to compensate them? If government wants to ban them once and for all, let government buy those factories, pay them, these people get to use this other money is compensated in other things.
To him, the solution is not to ban the Bovera but to ensure proper disposal, which can be blamed on the lack of discipline by the users, saying that there are companies mandated with recycling and they should do their job.
The issue of that particular accident, but not the factory that makes the Bovera. The Bovera don't use themselves. They are used by us human beings. So it is we people to be sensitized, to be addressed, to know what should be done for this so-called Bovera after using them. We either use them for cooking or dispose them properly and accordingly.
He compares the banning of Bovera to closing down a car manufacturing company because of road accidents. Government has set 15th April as the deadline for the ban to take effect. Anita Mwanguzi, WBS News, Kampala.
Well, we take a short break. When we return, it will be sports. Sejuso wants his ADs charged or released as relatives wants to meet president. Allegedly barred UPC members of parliament dismissed the reports with contempt. Chairman of the Uganda Manufacturers Association raises questions on the Kavera ban.
Do you recall the last time garbage in your neighborhood was collected? Have you ever experienced garbage spillage trails along your road? Now that will be history. Spear Motors brings you a hygienically safe and labor-efficient garbage compactor truck. Unlike ordinary garbage trucks, this garbage compactor truck completely covers the waste and carries 20 tons of garbage. There is 0% spillage and much fewer trips to the dumping sites. The garbage compactor truck is a self-loader. Only 2 men are required for the whole operation. Local authorities and private garbage collectors, the garbage compactor truck is now available at Spear Motors, Nakawa.
We have dreams. We want to become professional people when we grow up.
I want to be a doctor. I want to dance and sing to make people happy in the world. I want to become a nurse and teacher. I want to become a teacher. That's why I need good education.
That's why we need a good school.
You see, a good school equals to a better life.
Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising Voice.
And in sports, Uganda will be represented by 20 athletes at the 41st World Cross Country Championships set for 28th of March 2015 in Guiyang, China. Seen off the team today at National Council of Sports headquarters, Vice President Edward Chiwanuka Sekandi promised the athletes a VIP treat if they return home victorious.
5,000-meter Commonwealth gold medalist Moses Kipturo will lead the Ugandan team to China for the World Cross Country Championship set to be held on 28th March 2015. Seeing of the team official at Lugogo, Vice President Edward Chiwanuka Sekandi promised that government will support the team in any way possible to enable it excel at the World Championship.
Committed to support soccer teams, support this team and the other. And whatever finance we can give, those arrangements we shall give.
Sekandi added that government will fully support the 2017 World Cross Country Championship preparations. The event will be hosted by Uganda after winning the bid last year.
We love you. We shall always be with you and come back with victory to Uganda. Thank you.
For the players and the coach, they are more than ready to compete at the World Championship in China.
Athletes are really very and determined. Like I can say, the previous year, we have been having athletes winning in different competitions, ranging from the Commonwealth Games, World Junior, World Mountain Running, and African Mountain Running. So I believe with the experience and the determination that I've been putting, they can be able to outstand and become champions of the day.
Kenyan athletes who dominated the 2013 Cross Country Championship, together with Ethiopia and Eritrea, will pose a big threat to Ugandan team. Meanwhile, the national cricket team departs to South Africa tomorrow ahead of the ICC Africa T20 Championships set for 27 to 31st March 2015 in Johannesburg.
This shows that actually there is some progression in the sport, that as one crop phases out, there is always another group to get on board. This provides a good future for the sport, and I would request maybe other federations to emulate.
I'm looking at this as a new challenge. This is a relatively young team in terms of experience. Uganda Cricket has decided to proceed with youth and development, so that's why they see new faces in the team. However, the boys are eager to prove themselves. They know they have big shoes.
Only two nations will represent Africa at the Global T20 World Cup qualifiers set to be played in Scotland July this year. Frank Silgo, WSTV, Kampala.
Boss man, you like the bike? This is what you're going to do. Download the OLX app. Take a picture of what you want to sell. Post it on OLX, meet the buyer, and get some serious cash.
OLX, everything sells.
News Summary is brought to you by
Everybody use Movit's Apple Jelly. Movit's is amazing. Movit's Apple Jelly. Movit's is the best. Movit's, all the confidence.
Register once his ADs are charged or released as relatives wants to meet the president. Allegedly barred UPC members of parliament dismiss the reports with contempt. Chairman of the Uganda Manufacturers Association raises questions on Kavera ban. KCCA team turned away by parliamentary committee over compensation. Jamayan Brigadier Tumukunde Landrau rages on with police getting involved. And Uganda athletics team off to China for World Cross Country Championships.
News Summary is brought to you by
Everybody use Morbid Tapo Jelly. Morbid is amazing. Morbid is the best. Morbid, all the confidence.
Thank you very much for watching WBS Prime News Live. We finally come to an end of tonight's edition. Have a lovely night. I'm Mildred Tohaise. Stay tuned to WBS TV. Up next is Straight Talk Africa.
Up next on WBS TV. News and views around the continent. Lively debate.
If you have questions, we give you terrific answers on Straight Talk Africa.
Only on WBS TV.
Hello, welcome to Straight Talk Africa. It's Wednesday, March 25th. I am Shaka Sali, coming to you live from the Voice of America studios here in Washington.
Hello, Shaka, and hello to all our viewers and listeners on the continent and elsewhere. I'm Mariama Diallo, your social media reporter.